Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today I'm going to be going over the Gems of War Hamster Dance event in which the Gorbil is added to the game. So let's get into that. As far as this traitstone is going to be bringing in brown, yellow mountain traitstones. This is mainly going to be used for cockatrice early on in the game, or later on in the game you'd want to use it for Gorgulfa. Gorgulfa is also available in the Soul Forge this week too, so that's actually kind of convenient that it's available both for diamonds and you have the traitstone for it, so you can get him fully upgraded. Gorgulfa is the basically best tank in the game at 75% reduction. It's not the highest one, but out of everything that has the everything that has a high reduction, it is the most useful of them. So as far as this little guy, he transforms all blue to brown. So in early game Devour here with its convert, it ends up doing a 10% chance per its Devour and has a boost ratio of 3 to 1 per blue that it transforms into brown. So let's say we transform 9 blues into brown, that'll bring it to a 13% chance. This may seem a little bit low, but it does have the capability of landing multiple extra turns in a row, and could land anywhere from 2 to 4 casts, depending on how lucky you end up getting. More often than not, it's going to be relatively useless though. I still feel like that the bullet will be just a little bit better than this still, but it has some potential in that it does have its convert. One other thing that's somewhat unique about it, actually completely unique, not a single other troop has something even remotely close to this, but it gains 1 attack whenever an ally gains an extra turn. This isn't 4 times or 5 times. This is literally any extra turn you do, it ends up triggering. So this is the first trait that's been added to the game that has this capability, and that it triggers whenever any extra turn occurs, not just 4 times or 5 times matches. Really curious what they might add to this in the future, but at this current moment in time, the Gorbil is the only thing to have a mechanic like this. So we'll see what else they bring in the future. Of course, 1 attack per extra turn isn't the hugest amount of thing that you could be gaining, but it is cool that they're adding that kind of concept into the traits. So let's go over the standard event objective stuff. Let's go over to the events. We have 10% for all beasts, 10% to all goblins. I believe that mainly only applies to Boar Rider and maybe a few others. There aren't too many, that's for sure. As far as this little Gorbil guy, he does have a really nice bonus, 400 gold whenever you use it in PvP or Explore, so you'd either want to be running it on basically 1 trophy PvPs, or in Explore you should not really running it in your PvP team because it is relatively weak, as you have seen. And other than that, we end up getting a bunch of event gems, or for a bunch of these resources, for 12 event keys and 90 gems in the 3 gem keys, and I guess some brine copies, which isn't really that useful, but all we have to do is kill green troops, basically anywhere, essentially, PvP or Explore. Easiest way to do this would just be to go to Explore and do it, and just grind that out a lot quicker with some kind of Sunbird team. But really nice rewards for this. Do keep in mind that the treasure, or the treasure gnomes, they're going to be more common this weekend from Friday, that's the wrong tab, from Friday until Monday resets. So definitely a good time to kind of just wait until then, and then go grind out all your event gems. You do actually want to save all of your vault keys if you've been saving any till then. Main reason, or actually just 2 reasons now, not only is it a vault event this weekend, but also they are finally announcing, or they just did today, that they're going to be buffing the vault keys. So they said about 40% increase. I'll be going over the specific as far as the full drop table once we actually go and open these keys on Friday. But yes, they did indeed, they are indeed buffing them before Friday. So as soon as Friday hits is pretty much when you'll want to throw any of your vault keys. And of course you do get vault keys from the game mode this week, which is from the raid bosses, which are some rewards that you can get over there. As far as raid bosses, I feel like the last several dozen times I've forgotten to actually show them during the video itself, but we shall not forget this time. So I'm going to be running at least this initially. I might put some kind of Mang team in here during some of the later battles, but initially I'm running with basically a standard triple goblin team, simply running the new guy with it. This is the new raid troop that ended up coming in. Probably one of the more useful ones in that it automatically gains an extra turn, pretty much like every goblin does. Does a standard amount of damage. This is the standard 3 times to 5 times, but it does have a automatic extra turn, which is very, very useful. Also has arcane, which can come into play a little bit. Every single time you cast anything, it's going to be gaining 1 magic, and that can stack throughout the entire battle, and it stacks on top of its own cast. So at minimum, it's going to be doing 28 because its own cast counts as the +1 as well. So right here, we're going to want to go and get mana generation, particularly purple and blue are going to be the main 2 we're going to want to go for. So we'll go with that. Of course, we are restricted to only using Zejin this week. So basically any 4 times goblin team from Zejin is essentially what you're going to want to be doing. And when we have a setup like this, we're always going to want to throw this one first, hit the raid boss if it's not already dead. Then we are going to want to do this one. and then this one. And if we had grapple pot, we'd have wanted to have done that one first before all the other ones. And basically, you would want to get down these two first, and then the first slot, and then Fizz Bang last. Simply because Fizz Bang has the highest chance to actually mana generate, and the Nobin Brothers is the second highest. So you basically want to do it in order of the one that has the worst possibility of mana generation, and then do it in reverse order all the way until you reach the best mana generator, and pretty much just use them out that way whenever you have multiple goblins up at once. And that is applicable to literally any goblin team, not just this one. So we'll go take the blue right over there, get the last little bit that we need for that. It's mainly just a matter of killing out the minions, which I believe will die to that grapple. And if it didn't, we still had plenty more extra turns to go. Yep, that's pretty much how the team runs. We'll see exactly how far it goes. Might do some adjustments, but of course we'll show them on the streams whenever we do end up tweaking it. But at least initially, that is what I intend to go for. Might even try some weird 4x goblin teams to just get rid of this guy and just do some really weird loops. If you are struggling to build anything, you can literally just go like 3x or 4x goblin rocket, and I think you would actually be fine just because of how ridiculously good it can loop. Might take you forever, but if you have a limited amount of battles and you don't mind taking the time, you probably could win with just 4x goblin rocket. I'm not even kidding. I'd probably do that later, but it'd take way too long to do it during this video, that is for sure. Anyways, over to the Soul Forge. Actually, event keys. I haven't gone over event keys yet. So, event keys. There's a lot of goblins in them if you want to go use it. I would say probably skip this week, but there are a decent number of things that if you don't have and you want to build a goblin team, you finally can after this week. So as far as everything within the event key drop table, you have things like Black Beast, not that useful. Brian the Lucky, not that useful. The Goblin King, not that useful. Goblin Rocket's probably one of the better ones in there. It's an ultra rare, so really easy chance of getting it. Probably about 5 event keys or so would end up giving you at least one. Really nice to have around. Has a single explosion. One of the best board controls in the game. Probably still among one of the top 10. It's a little bit towards the slower side, but it's really good at helping you win. Other than that, there's Hobgoblin, not really that relevant. Nobin Brothers, which is one of the core components of the best possible Goblin team. It has 3 different things they can do. Attack reduction, which is good, decent against Doom Skulls. It has a full AoE damage to hit all enemies, and it has a explosion that pretty much just explodes the entire board with how many it has, at least this late in the game. So generally the explosion and the damage is what it's really used for, unless you're specifically up against a skull spam team. We have Fizz Bang, which is really good mana generation. Half the time she ends up exploding out all the greens, and if she doesn't, she gives a random stat to an ally, which isn't really that good. Generally, you're wanting her to hope that she just explodes out the board. Queen Grapple Pot's a nice AoE that hits everything, just in case you want to have that plop it on your team. Normally, it's only used within goblins, so you can use it out of the context of goblins if you need it in, let's say, like some kind of dragon team, just to make sure you still have additional things that can hit all enemies. Basically, on any team that is focused around hitting all enemies, you'd pretty much just throw her in just to have the automatic extra turn. Really good with exploders too, since you can just keep throwing the excess mana to just get some damage down. And her Surf's Not Helm, which has a little bit of a disable web entangle. Is it really worth doing? Not really for the most part, unless you've really been wanting to build a 4x goblin team for late game. Otherwise, nothing really too special beyond like maybe getting 10, just making sure you get a goblin rocket if you don't already have it. But that's as far as the event keys are going this week. As far as Soul Forge, we have a couple good things. As I already mentioned, we had the Gorgolfa, which is right over here. Gorgolfa is essentially the tankiest troop in the game. Technically, Stonehammer is tankier at 80%, though Gorgolfa is way more useful in that it actually does something that is helpful. It explodes basically the entire board and then cleanses itself. So you can even get rid of stun if it ends up getting attached to it, and you'll just be able to keep getting full mana onto all of your troops. And with 75% reduction, it just is a really, really common first slot, and I personally use it on at least a third of my teams most of the time. Really nice troop to have. Is it worth throwing 800 diamonds for? Probably, only because normally I would say probably wouldn't be, but since these traitstones are available this week, if you have the diamonds for them, you probably have the traitstones for them too, since you could just throw the glory this week to go and obtain the 16 mountain traitstones that you need for him, or however many you still need. So I would say that this particular week probably would actually be worth crafting him if you don't already have him. As far as the mythics that you might want to craft, there are 2 of them, Infernus and Roadbreaker. Infernus definitely being the better one. Arguably one of the best troops in the game at the moment. Deals a high amount of damage to 2 random enemies, and then half of that to adjacents. Explodes 5 gems, which is a pretty decent amount. And it creates a firestorm whenever it ends up killing out an enemy. And it is the best burner in the game, being able to burn all enemies for simply taking an extra turn. So very, very powerful, very good on anything that needs a boost ratio based on burn as well, like Element Grim. Really good just for the firestorm that you can get pretty easily as soon as you get a quick kill, and just overall really high damage output and a decent capability of keeping your turn from an extra turn, as well as just mana generating a decent amount of your mana back. It's really nice to have. Wordbreaker is kind of similar, except it's full AoE and that it hits everything. It's also more used within Dragon teams, whereas the Infernus is used more in Divine teams, like with Divine or Spala, as one of the best combos with it. And other than that, not really much of relevance in the Soulforge this week. So, that is pretty much everything. Let's get into the teams then. Let's go head over to PvP and see what we're up against. Actually, before we do, I forgot to say one thing. If you are going to be going down for grains, if you're going to be doing specific kingdom, let's say during the Treasure Gnomes this weekend, when they have a higher rate, you're going to want to do it in the Forest of Thorns kingdom. Forest of Thorns has the most amount of greens within any kingdom, so pretty much just go here with a little Gorbil on your team, and it'll end up giving you a little bit of extra gold, 400 gold for every single battle you do. Really easy clears. It only takes like 20 seconds or so per battle, maybe a little bit longer if you don't have as many stats, but as you can see, it goes down really easy. You get a bunch of event points, and it wouldn't take that long at all. I think it would take like an hour or two tops to pretty much finish out this event. Really easy event this time around, and as you can see, we're getting the bonus gold every single time, so that's a pretty nice time to go and get stock up on gold if you've been needing it to like upgrade kingdoms or anything like that. So, teams that we could actually use this in. Do keep in mind, he's more of an early game troop, so these are probably going to fail miserably. But we're going to be starting off with pretty much the cheapest team I could think of that would still be viable, kind of. We're running with Gorbil, Bullet, Sir Gawain, Apothecary. If you don't have a Sir Gawain, he is an epic. You can run, I guess, a Dragonian Monk and kind of put it that way. But Sir Gawain, main reason we're running this is, for one, he's one of the best summoners in the game, a 1-3 summon. Really easy to stay alive with this if you happen to have picked him up earlier on in the game. But he creates 8 blues and 8 browns, or I should say, he creates blue and brown. This is pretty relevant because everything the Gorbil needs is both blue and browns. So what we're essentially trying to go for here is getting this thing to try to loop, or at least the best we possibly can. We have Apothecary here to make that go even easier. The blue would go directly in her. She transforms select color into brown, and she gets a cleanse for everything. And other than that, of course, we have the Bullet here. This is the basically other version of a Gorbil, which I still feel like is better than the Gorbil overall, the Bullet, that is. And it knocks the first enemy to the back, deals damage to them, and then 50% chance to devour if and only if there's 13 or more brown. But with Apothecary, Sir Gawain, and Gorbil, literally everything on our team creating brown, we should be able to get enough brown. And a +2 brown, +1 red banner, since we don't use any purple on the team, should be able to hold it down and keep our mana flowing. So right off the bat here, what do we have? We'll go take the grain. It gives us immediate Apothecary. We'll get rid of the red, and should be good from there. So we'll grab that. Does that actually... Oh, I should have double-checked the Apothecary to see if we could have gotten alignment somewheres. Pretty sure that would have been available, but let's try for a Devour. Will we get it? Yes, we did. Except it created a baby dragon that then went into the Rainbow Snake. Okay. Well, we'll go and I guess let's cascade a bunch of this. Hopefully we'll get a Devour. Nope, no Devour off of him, but we did get all of our mana back, but no extra turn. We should have 13 or more browns now, so we'll try going for another Devour. Hopefully this time something actually dies. It's like, we got the Devour and killed something. Oh, wait, no, we didn't. We'll go throw that in there. There we go. Watch, this thing is probably... Oh, Gorbil! We needed you! I was going to say, this thing's probably going to devour every single time, and then the Gorbil's never going to devour. Everything I've used it so far, I've only gotten the Gorbil to devour once. I still feel like its percent is way too low. I was like expecting it to be like every one that you converted was 3%, not every 3 being 1%. But yeah, he could barely even reach like 15% chance of devouring, which does seem just a little bit too low given that the only other aspect of him is it converts. So the Gorbil in general, from what I could take from it so far, it is definitely not worth... it's not a replacement for Bullet. I can say that much. Definitely just use Bullet instead. They're both the same rarity, and Bullet's better, is basically the bottom line of what I could really say about it. But I still have one other team that I kind of want to show, because it utilizes more the fact of it keeps gaining 1 attack every single time. So we'll just kill this out real quick. Should be pretty easy with the Bullet, which is essentially the superior version of the little guy. I'll go take that. Oh, we don't even have enough damage. 1 skull shot him. But we'll go get an Apothecary here. I guess now on blue, since we don't need blue anymore. Oh, wait. We actually do. Oops, I shouldn't have done that. I forgot. His summon actually still covers blue. But then again, I probably won't even throw it, because if I do do that, it's just going to... did we get Devour again? Oh, nope. If we do end up doing that, it's just going to block our attack value. So I'm actually going to hold off on that. So let's stick with some brown, which isn't the greatest of things, but he just creates more brown for us. So I guess that doesn't matter too much. Take another little poke, and one more will do it. And down it goes. And there it goes, doing the little gerbil's job for it. And we get a treasure map out of that. But yeah, there's one other weird thing I wanted to go show, and that is a Gorbil with extra turn spam, specifically with a Willow here too. So essentially, every extra turn that we do off the board, we are gaining 3 attack and 2 life onto our little Gorbil guy, because 1 from its own thing, and then all the rest from this. But also, every single time we either cast Ice Goblin or Goblin Rocket, we're also gaining 1 attack on him, because he doesn't care if it's a 4 times or 5 times. It's just, if anything, casts an extra turn, and that includes an ability that extra turns. So he'll be gaining additional attack from that. Same banner, because this team as well doesn't end up using a purple. And of course, the Willow does have 10% because the little beast thing. Not really that relevant. I normally don't even really go too much over like the 20% bonuses anymore. Back when it was like 50% bonus, that was of course a lot more applicable. These days, not really that important to build around 10%, 20% troops. But let's go and convert all that out. And still no Devour. I'm pretty sure I'll do this entire time and we're not going to get a Devour. I could stream for an hour and probably not get a single Devour off him. Okay, I almost just went for that move. That's actually not worth going for due to the brown extra turn that we'd give him over there. I think we're just going to hit a bunch of browns like all the way at the bottom or something then. Because there's actually not too many good locations to go for. So let's do that. Get a bit of AoE damage in there to hit everything. We'll go and throw a freeze, and hopefully this will give us alignment for these blues. And no, we did not. So we'll go and I guess just grab ourselves a purple to a red. We don't need the purple, but I do definitely need that red surge. Do we just go for another Willow, actually? You know what, I'm just going to go for the Willow first, because I kind of want to explode these skulls before he does something weird with them. So we'll just go hit these double browns and then go grab all that. We don't have any convert currently, so we can't go for a Devour chance, so let's go for that. And can we align with this? Well, another thing that we can do with the Goblin Rocket, of course, too, is actually align it into a way that we could go and convert with this little guy to actually be able to land the extra turn. But in this case, it doesn't look like that will be possible, so we will not do that. We'll just go grab that. And he gets the extra turn off that, gets the Christine X. No, don't you die before we get something again. Don't you dare. We need you. Okay, we'll go take this and just try setting this up so we can get the Devour chance. Come on, Devour. No Devour, but we got all of his mana back, so at least we got that going. Okay, so we'll go through that. As you can see, every single extra turn we do, doesn't matter what it's from, we do end up getting that nice little bit of extra attack on him. Not playing too big a role, but at least it helps. Alright, we're going to throw a thing here just to make sure we don't accidentally devour something really weak like him with almost no... Oh, never mind. He actually is dead. Okay. Apparently he's dead and he's just not showing up as dead. I was going to clear him out real quick, but apparently that's not needed. So we'll go and convert this. Try for that Devour. Still haven't gotten it. So every single time, it's only like 11% chance right there, I think that was. It's only increasing by 1% by every 3, so it's not really going anywhere. Get a nice little ice bomb down. And move that, move that. Double check. Looks good. Throw that in there. Get 56 attack. Slowly but surely, shall get a good enough attack to actually do something. And of course, we're gaining the extra stats from the Willow, too. And, oh wow, I need to be careful. I actually got a Devour right there, and we're in a bit of trouble. Can you get a Devour? That would be nice. Do we just go for it and just hope we get it? How many blues do we convert out? So this will be a 14% chance. That feels so small. But please, we need your Devour. That is not a Devour. That is not a Devour. Okay, well, we'll go and I guess just take out this. There's no point in taking it for 5 times. I think we actually just lost. Pretty sure we just lost. All we have is a Willow and then that thing, but then it's going to revive into a little baby dragon thing, and then we have no way of killing it. So, yes, we just lost using the little gerbil guy. But yeah, I would not really advise using him. Yeah. Yep, if you're using him, farm him in 1 trophies, farm him in Explorer. Do not bring him to PvP. And if you need a early game Devour, still keep using Bullet because it is not that good. But yeah, if you really need to go and use a Gorbil, or you really want to get his gold while doing PvP, either just do the easier battles, or put him into a triple Doomskull team, or of course just go to 1 trophy and keep hitting it with something like this, and just clear it out in like 30 seconds or less. Right off the bat, let's throw a Firebomb. Actually, might take us a little bit longer, forgot. It's a little bit sturdier here. I'll go grab... Oh, we actually have his convert. Can we get one devour before we end the video? No, we cannot. Okay, come on. You got this. Wait. We're not ending this video until he devours. No, just kidding. We'll be here for an hour if that's the case. Though, I should try winning this battle. Actually, should we go do that? No. I'll try doing that later. See how long on average. We'll try getting like 10 devours with him later. And see how long it'll take just for him to get each devourer. But yeah, I do feel like they made him a bit too weak. Just keep using bullet or any option that's better than that. There's actually a lot of things better than bullet, but of course, if you don't have any of them, wouldn't really work out. The absolute best would be, of course, if you have a great maul laying around. But we'll go get that out. And that is that. And as you can see, we get the extra 400 gold, and apparently we get a pet. Obviously not ours, but, you know, someone in our guild got it. We didn't get it from that battle, obviously. But I guess we'll go do that pet then. But anyways, guys, that'll wrap it up for now. If you guys still have any other questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a wonderful week. Goodbye, everyone.